You are listening to a special edition of the Central Indiana Sports Report, our recap of day one of the sectional at Elwood on Tuesday night. With Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood call leader, and coaches Fonso White of Taylor, Kevin Cherry of Lapel, and Brent Brobston of Frankton. Then Elwood head coach and also athletic director, host of the sectional, Ryan VanSkyock, with his thoughts on a great atmosphere on Tuesday night and facing the Lapel Bulldogs, who looked incredible on Tuesday in Friday night semifinals. It was an incredibly fun night at Elwood, who is a great host. Before we get to all of that, I want to let you know about my daily podcast, Greg and his friends talk sports. 20 to 30 minutes every day, my friends and I are talking about whatever Central Indiana sports fans are talking about, whether it's the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IU, Purdue, IndyCar, major national sports, and of course, high school sports, focusing on the CIC, Tipton, and Lapel. We also had a recap of the Eastbrook sectional with Grant Schaus, with Blackford and Burris getting wins. And we'll be back on Friday night with recaps from Elwood and Eastbrook once again, also, of course, on Saturday. One last thing, there are parts of this podcast where it sounds like I'm yelling. Even though the background sounds quiet to you, I promise you it was very loud when we were doing the interview. So a couple of the coaches and I may sound like we're screaming at you. I promise we're not. Sorry about that. Welcome, sports fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for a special Elwood Sectional Day 1 recap. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, here with Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood call leader. And Michelle, we knew we were going to have a great game tonight, but it turned out to be the wrong one. Lapel blew out Frankton in the game we thought was the game of the night, and then Taylor-Tipton was a thriller.
It was. It really was a thriller. I'm going to give credit to Tipton first-year coach Tommy Newton and the Blue Devils, because they came out ready to play against the Titans, and they took it right at Taylor right away, scored for 7 points of the game. Afterwards, when I was talking to Coach, they really, for over 3 quarters, they really controlled the game. And then at Taylor, athleticism just kind of showed up late in the fourth quarter and then in the overtime. And
Javon Harris in particular.
I was going to say, Javon Harris, he was... No offense, because Peyton Aller played a heck of a game. And
nice player.
Yes. But Javion Harris was the best player on the floor. I mean,
no question.
He kind of did to Tipton what Grady Carpenter did to Taylor 1 year ago. He just kind of took it over. And, he was running the show. I talked to, when we were talking to Coach White, I made the comment that a couple times I thought in the second half, Harris put up some threes when he didn't have his legs and they were short. But when they really needed it there, fourth quarter overtime, he was holding the ball, and he had that wide open three. But he didn't. He waited, and his teammate cut, and on the backdoor cut, baseline, he fed him for a layup. Big play. And that just shows the maturity of Harris, because I've seen him for the last, play for the last 2 or 3 years, and I've seen him take that three and not wait for that back cut. So that's a testament to his maturity. But it's also a testament to what Fonso White has brought to the Titans this year. I thought they are very disciplined, and, they did not exhibit frustration or anything like they have in the past. He's done a really good job with pretty much their body language and everything. Again, but Tipton, Peyton Aller, stellar. Dakota Garmon was stellar tonight. Hit some big threes for the Blue Devils. That's not what they expected.
Probably up there, maybe.
So he had some big-time shots. Isaac Humrock counts in his final game tonight. He was outstanding on the boards again. He's been outstanding here of late. I think over the last 3 weeks, almost every game has been a double-digit rebound game. And so the Blue Devils gave Taylor everything they wanted, but in the end, that athleticism is really hard to beat. Plus, Tipton did do a good job, Aller and Garmon, on Galloway and McClatchy. But Taylor got a big step up performance from True Blood tonight. I mean, he was
8 points.
Yes, and I mean 2 huge threes for them at different times.
All right, Michelle, let's hear from Coach White, and then we will talk about the matchup with Sheridan and Taylor on Friday. All right, Coach, well, I'm guessing that wasn't how you drew it up.
Well, we knew it was going to be tough. We just we didn't know it was going to go to overtime. But we had discussed it yesterday that it's not going to be like it was when we played at Tipton. We knew it was going to be tough. I knew Coach Newton was going to have those guys ready to play, and their thing was to take out Dre and make sure they hold Javion in place, and then also hold Keyshawn. But obviously, Javion took on the slack of the other guys, and the other guys just had to chip in enough just to get us through.
I thought True Blood came up big. They left him open, and he's great poise, and he buried some big shots for you.
Yes, he's one of those guys that we relied on early in our mid-stretch of the season. We won 6 in a row. And I told him tonight, we need you to step up as a senior. And if we pass you the ball, we need you to knock those shots down. Like you said, he knocked down a few threes here and there. And he was able to show that poise as a senior and help us out.
Coach, what did you tell your team down 4 in the fourth quarter there during a couple of those timeouts?
Well,
you got down 4 and you had that turnover.
When we got down by 4, I told him we got to have the perfect effort. And Javion echoed in the timeout. It does not have to be a 3. We just got to play, like Coach said, to our strings, but it doesn't have to be a 3. And he said, if any one of y'all shoot a 3, I'm going to come at you. and that's good when a player knows that you don't need a 3.
Well, and I thought he showed tremendous awareness that he knew his legs were kind of down because he had that wide open 3 and he waited for the cut along the baseline and made the great pass in for the layup. That was key.
I think that was a great play because he waited patiently, like you said, and then he made the play to a guy that normally wouldn't make that play down the stretch for us in a crucial moment of the game.
Coach, tonight showed that beating a team a second time isn't easy. Now it's Sheridan's turn to try to beat the second time. What's going to be different this time?
Well, I just think we got to be better on the kid, more so than we were. And, we had a lead over there, and we kind of dwindled away because they let us shoot the 3 ball, and the 3 ball became fool's gold for us. So we shot more threes than what we needed to versus taking care of the basketball like we did tonight and knowing that we can get the 3 anytime we want to, but we got to be capable of grinding it out down the stretch.
Overtime, I thought conditioning, you guys looked in excellent shape.
Well, hey, thank you. That's why I kept hollering Arkansas quick strike. So we have a drill that we do where I put 3 minutes on the clock and we set up 2 shot clocks. And so they got 15 seconds. So if you score within the 15 seconds, whatever you score at, you get that number of points. So if you score in 14 seconds, you get 14 points. And the goal for each team is to get 150. And so sometimes we get 150, sometimes they get 174. It's just a matter of just being able to score quickly as you can and just keep yourself in shape. And I told them, I was like, I manipulate the conditioning a lot, and they think I'm just letting them play, especially when we play 4-minute games too. They think I'm letting them play, but really I'm just like getting that conditioning out of.
Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you on Friday.
Hey, thank you guys.
All right, Michelle, 68-38 kind of says it all. Lapel was in charge of this game from start to finish, and an awfully impressive performance by the Bulldogs. Going to be tough to beat in this sectional.
Yes, it is, especially if they shoot as well as they did tonight. I think Lapel is a really, really good team when they're knocking down threes. I think they come back to the pack and become beatable if they struggle from outside the arc, if they aren't hitting him at the clip like they hit him tonight. But I'm going to give a lot of credit to the Cho kid. I thought he was fantastic in the first quarter, and then he buried that 3 at the horn to put them up 12-8. Frankton was right there and playing well, and he doesn't hit that 3. It's 9-8. No, that probably is not going to make a lot of difference, but it just gave the Bulldogs momentum going into the second. And then they opened the second quarter and it really wasn't trapping pressure, but Frankton turned it over like their first 3 possessions. They turned it over. Lapel got 3 threes. Then they turned it over. Lapel ran a little clock and ended up with a nice layup on a backdoor cut. And those turnovers to start the second quarter is what buried Frankton, and then they just couldn't get back.
All right, Michelle, let's hear from Coach Cherry, and then let's talk a little bit about who were the stars for Lapel. And then we will talk about Frankton and hear from Coach Brobston. All right, Coach. Well, with what happened last year, you had to like the way your team came out and just took it to them from the start.
Yeah, I thought, thank you. Yeah, I thought the way we responded that first 4 minutes, although last year we did come out and make some shots early, tonight we handled that situation much better than last year. And that's something we stressed all week, that when we get to the tournament, it's not always the best team that wins. It's the toughest team that can stay together for 32 minutes over the course of 3 games. And that's what we're trying to do. So really proud with step 1 tonight. Against, let's just be honest, Frankton was a little bit banged up with the injuries that they had here late in the season, and I feel bad for both of those kids. You never want to come, you want everybody to be full strength when you get to this kind of a scenario, but, tons of respect for them and Brent and the way he does things, and, the next time roles could be reversed pretty quickly.
So more joy or relief tonight?
No, I think it's joy. I think because we played the way I thought we're capable of playing. We come in and we win one in overtime or we tip one in at the buzzer. That would probably be more of relief, but still joy. But tonight was just joy from the standpoint as I thought our guys were super unselfish. Defensively, getting into that second quarter when we were able to kind of get some separation, I thought defensively we were able to create some turnovers, get some easy baskets in transition. Because if you have to play in a half-court game with them and the way they can guard you, scoring the basketball can become very difficult at times. But being able to score in transition was a big part of what got us that separation tonight.
That was really the key late in the first quarter into the second quarter of putting a gap between.
And they got in a little bit of foul trouble, which was, you never know how that's going to go on any given night. But fortunately, that wasn't us tonight. Although we did have a couple of kids pick up 2. I thought our 7, I really believe this, and we just talked about in the locker rooms. I don't know who's going to lead us in scoring on a nightly basis. It could be a Tyler Cash, who I don't think even scored tonight, maybe. It could be a Quinn Wilkins. It could be a Luke Jones. It could be Devin. We've seen that throughout the course of the year that if we can get 4 guys in double figures, which we have done that several times, we typically will win that game. So our scoring can be very balanced. And I haven't seen the book yet tonight, but I think that's what we'll see. I'm sure Owen probably led us, but Luke put in a nice performance as well.
One step closer to the championship, Elwood on Friday night, a team you didn't see during the regular season. Your thoughts heading into that one?
Well, I just mentioned to the radio that I haven't watched any film on any other opponent in this sectional outside of Frankton. And so we'll start doing that tomorrow. But what I do know is Ryan VanSkyock does a fantastic job, and he is a tremendous basketball coach. And I know that his kids will play extremely hard. They're in a home court situation. So we'll have to come and play. And our message, regardless of our opponents, we always want to try to play to our expectation level or to what our standard is. And so that's step 1. And then step 2 is we'll start watching film and game planning and trying to see what their tendencies are and see what we need to take away to be successful. But tonight we enjoy this one. Tomorrow we get right back to work.
Coach, thank you. And we'll see you on Friday night.
Thank you.
I don't know the scoring yet, Michelle, but I do know that Garber and Co. were really good. Who were the stars statistically for Lapel tonight?
Well, I want to double check this total. Garber had a game high 28 points, and I mean, he hit a 3 early, first 3 of the game, and then he just was really good on both ends of the floor, on the boards and everything for Lapel over the final 3 quarters. He was one of 3 Bulldogs in double figures. Co also was in double figures with 13 points, and Devin Craig finished with 12. The Bulldogs hit 10 3-pointers. 4 of them were by Garber, and then Craig had 2. They, like I said, Lapel's tough to beat when they're firing on cylinders. I'll tell you who I thought also had a good game was Luke Jones. He had a quiet 7 points, but he did hit a 3-pointer. So, and then they just got contributions from other players on the glass and deflections and things like that. So it was a really nice performance by Lapel.
Michelle, for Frankton, they end up the season with 17 wins. We probably wouldn't have predicted 17 wins before the season, so really nice year for Frankton, but you hate to see him go out this way.
Oh, you do. Frankton started 2 kids that if this was a regular season game, they're not playing. And that's senior Blake Nickham, who played through a high ankle sprain, and freshman Ashton Brobston, folks who played with a fractured wrist. He broke his wrist in the Elliott game. Nickham suffered his high ankle sprain in the Elliott game, and they both really tried their best. You could tell that Nickham's ankle was about at the free throw line. I mean, I don't think I've seen the kid go 1 for 6 at the line in a long time because he's worked really hard. But when you shoot free throws, that's when you have to go up on your toes, and that's a tough thing to do if you get that high ankle sprain. And then laterally, his movement just wasn't there. Ashton, folks, it was his right wrist that was fractured. So that's his main. And So kudos to him for playing and trying to shoot with it and even ball handling. But he had to wear such a cast and then with tape over it, a playable cast with tape over it to protect the hard parts. And so he really could not feel the ball or, grip the ball. But it's a shame for Frankton that they weren't at full strength for tonight's game.
All right, Michelle, let's hear from a disappointed Brent Brobston.
You knew this was going to be a tough matchup because you weren't 100% healthy. And they got their kids back 100% healthy at the right time. And for you guys, and I'm giving Nick and Ashton a lot of credit because they went out there and they battled, but you could tell they weren't 100%.
Ashton's wrist is broke. We've tried to hide that as well as we can, but he's got a fractured wrist. He's out there giving it everything he can, but he's not the same player. Can't shoot. He couldn't dribble right-handed. You could see that. Like those were problems. I probably hurt us more playing him maybe than I did help us. Nickham was not full strength. As you can see, his lateral movement wasn't good. He couldn't stay in front of anyone. It's a different game if those two kids are healthy. There's no doubt in my mind. But Lapel's a really good team. Don't take anything away from them because they played extremely well. They played hard. And so, at the end of the day, we're not healthy. It's unfortunate. It's bad timing. And you got two kids that they've got injuries they probably shouldn't have been playing with tonight. I can tell you for sure, my son shouldn't have been playing tonight. He's supposed to be out for a month. So, but the bottom line is he wanted to suit up, tape it up, and try to gut it out. And at the end of the day, it just didn't work well for him. And Nickham gave it everything he had, and he's got a high ankle sprain, and he's definitely not 100%. So that definitely affected the game, and it hurt us. But Lapel played good too. They played a good game. So at the end of the day, we got beat, and that's the bottom line. We didn't come out on top.
I mean, we played them really well the first quarter, and then you came out and turned the ball over like 4 or 5 straight possessions, and it went on like 11 or 13 off those turnovers.
I think that I probably should have made a switch there guard-wise. I think Ashton had a couple of those turnovers for sure. It looked to me like he was struggling, probably dribbling right-handed up the floor is what the coaches thought. So as you could tell, he was going left almost every time. So we probably could have made a change there to maybe help. But first quarter was good. We lost Co in transition in the corner. That was a really bad play. He checked into the game for Craig. We lost him. Or for Cash or Craig, we lost him. Hits a wide open 3. That was a big shot by Co. Co plays the game the right way. Him and Garber, they play the game the right way. And they're just really good players. And they hurt you at times. And they did it again tonight. Both those kids, were just difficult for us. So, and in the third quarter, I thought we battled back. I think we cut it to 19, but we were down 20. And we never could get any closer. Maybe 19 in the fourth quarter at one point. I don't know. But it was too late. You can't get down like that to that good of a team and then try to come back out of it.
Coach, final word on a really good season.
Very pleased with what we did. 17-7. It was a good year and some really nice victories for this team. Obviously, I thought was actually a great season. And the thing is that I think John Wooden talks about it in his book. If people judge everything on championships, and that's what you want to win ultimately, but some of your better seasons may be seasons that you didn't win championships. This was a season where these kids gave everything they had. It started back last June. They've worked their butts off the whole way, and they've had some exciting games. Beating Blackford was a big win for this team. They went on quite a win streak there for a while also after the big tournament at Frankton. Hosting a holiday tournament for our school with 18 teams was awesome. Next year it's got 42 teams. Lapel joined it. So, that's going to be fun again. Overall, fantastic season. End of the day, you want to keep advancing, but we just didn't do that. So we got to give Lapel credit for their win, and good luck to them. And we just got to get back at it for obviously get ourselves ready for next season. But I'm very proud of these kids. I thought they battled all year.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Michelle, great atmosphere here tonight at Elwood. We're going to talk to Elwood Athletic Director and Head Coach Ryan VanSkyock about how things went here tonight at Elwood and their matchup with the Lapel Bulldogs. Elwood turns out really good host for a sectional.
They do. They really, really do. When Marty Wells hosted the girls basketball sectional here in 2014, he did a really nice job. Did a nice job hosting tournaments, but Ryan just kicked it up a step. He wants it to be memorable for the kids. He put the brackets in. He posted a video of Taylor moving their name
like the
over.
NCAA tournament.
Yes, and he wanted to make a fun, and that's a fun moment. No Taylor kids enjoyed it. I'm sure the Lapel kids.
The first thing they did was run over to that board.
Yes, I mean that's just him. You class the banners with making sure it's the proper school's logos. It just looks nice. It looks classy, and I'm telling you, this man has been on the go, and really for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, thank you so much for helping out tonight, and it was a lot of fun watching some sectional basketball with you. Here is Elwood Athletic Director and Head Coach Ryan VanSkyock. Thanks, everybody, for listening. All right, Coach, Lapel on Friday, very impressive performance by the Bulldogs tonight.
Yeah, they're just an all-around team. Coach Cherry's a very outstanding coach. You just see his teams are so disciplined. They do things the right way. I thought tonight was the best I've seen them all around. That's when you want your teams clickings in the tournament. So I thought defensively they were out, aggressive, very physical with Frankton, and I thought that caught them off guard a little bit. And then offensively, you got to pick your poison, or you're going to get beat off the dribble by them. They were shooting the crap out of the three tonight.
Yeah, if they do that.
I mean, they're a well-oiled machine. It's going to take a great effort to beat a team like that.
Ryan, of course, you've had now pretty much, you're going to have had 2 full weeks to get ready for this opening game. How has your team been looking in practice these 2 weeks?
We got a little bit up our sleeve. We felt like it's been a good week and a half to get tons of shooting in, but also to try to game plan. The hardest part is Lapel, we got to play different than we would have played Frankton. So we're basically going to get 2 days coming in of this is how we're going to play Lapel. So those kids are going to have to understand that right away is when we come in tomorrow and Thursday, we got about 4 hours to really put in everything that we want to try to be successful and do something against them. So we're going to give them some different looks that they've probably not seen, and we're just going to go out and try to give it our best shot. I mean, anything can happen in the sectional. I was at Jay County, a 2-1 team, won it all. You just never know. I mean, sometimes teams have off nights and gives you an opportunity to win. I do feel like the first 6-7 minutes are going to be critical on Friday night. Because they get up in a big lead and make us turn the basketball over, because there's no doubt in my mind they're going to pressure us. If we can sustain and handle that pressure the first 4, 5, 6 minutes, I think we have a chance. But if we fold those first couple minutes, I think it's going to be a long night for us.
Coach, kind of cool that you got a bye here and you got to kind of just enjoy the atmosphere, because this is one of the best atmospheres this gym's had.
I wish I could say I really enjoyed it. I can't feel my legs. That was, we've been going since 7 o'clock this morning just to make sure everything looked nice, ready to go.
And it did.
Oh, it does. It looks great.
Really appreciate it. It's awesome to be able to coach one and run one as an athletic director. Friday, I mean, it's going to be interesting. You're basically first half of the nights doing stuff as an athletic director, and then you got to turn around and be a coach. So that'll be interesting. I asked Brent how he felt about it, but he's got so many great guys that surround him and take care of things. That helps out a little bit. And kudos to all my workers tonight. We had fantastic people in the hospitality room with the ticket booth. Chad Gibson's been helping me all year during basketball, so I do give a lot of credit to all the people that stepped up and helped me today.
All right, thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you on Friday night. Sorry, did you want to?
Ryan, I guess if you have an advantage on Friday, is that sometimes Lapel might the kids, not Coach Jerry, but the kids may overlook you guys.
Yeah, most definitely. I think you look back at the 3 years that I've been here in the sectionals, Taylor was one of the top teams in the state 3 years, and they were shell-shocked of like we were leading most of the game. Tipton 2 years ago, I mean, for the first half, we were playing with Tipton, and they were one of the top teams in the state, and Coach Hawkins always told me, he's like, man, we tried to tell our kids, they just didn't want to understand, like, we're going to come out and play. And then last year, I mean, competed with Frankton for 3.5 quarters. So I do think that's advantage us. No matter what the coaches are going to go and tell those kids are kids. And they think basically they're just going to walk right into the championship game. So great opportunity to take advantage of it early. And for us, for me to feel like we have a chance, we have to do and play well right off the get-go.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, buddy.
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.